Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Whew, it's Wednesday. It's hump day. We've made it through another week halfway thus far. I'm so excited to be with you guys once again for another amazing episode of Dialogues with Doc. Today is Wednesday, May 26th, 2021, and it's my honor and my pleasure to be hanging out with you guys once again on another Wednesday evening. I hope that you all are becoming vaccinated. If you aren't, please consider. If you want to do more of the things that you used to do, you definitely have to get the vaccine. There are a lot of options out there now. So please, sir, please, ma'am, think about it, consider it to get back to normal. Please make sure you are remaining safe and staying safe and sane. Whenever people ask me how am I doing in the midst of all of this, my response is simple. I'm just trying to stay safe and I'm trying to stay sane. It has been a lot. A lot has happened, but we are constantly and consistently moving forward as we go through this pandemic, as we are definitely on a turn as opposed to where we were this time last year, all on house arrest, sitting in the house, can't go anywhere, can't go to the grocery store, can't do things that we are used to doing or accustomed to doing, but we are now able to do some of those things again as things begin to reopen and we continue to get back to some sense of normalcy. Hope you all are having an amazing week thus far. We are almost at the end of May. Guys, we are almost at the month of June, which means it's almost summertime. Things will begin happening for us again. Of course, we're almost at summertime, but I don't believe it's summertime until I hear the song Summertime by DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. That's when your boy knows that it's officially summertime. So when I hear summertime, I believe it. If you're like me, you're struggling with this pollen and stuff. If you're in the DMV, between the pollen and the cicadas, I am triggered. The pollen looks like cotton, and I'm running from cicadas as I ride my bike. So it's been a lot, but I am managing and maneuvering through this thing successfully each and every day. So tonight's show is going to be the bomb. This is another amazing episode of Dialogues with Doc. Of course, you guys know we do have some housekeeping rules that we always acknowledge when we come onto the show each and every week. If this is your first time rocking with me tonight, thank you. Thank you for jumping in. Thank you for jumping into the conversation. Thank you for joining me on this platform. If you are a returning viewer, thank you as well. I love you guys just as much. Thank you for just rocking with me as I do this thing each and every week, just to provide an awesome and amazing platform for guests to talk about a host of different subjects. You guys know nothing has changed. The house rules are still the same. House rules still the same. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Like, comment, share, subscribe. That's the house rules. It's real simple. You ain't got to sweep up the trash. You ain't got to take out the trash. No, these are the house rules if you're going to rock with me each and every week. Just do me a favor, like the broadcast. If you're watching and have comments, share them during the broadcast. I like to highlight those as well. If you even have questions for my guests, I like to try to go through the show and bring those to the forefront as well, if we possibly can, to get some insight and some feedback from my amazing guests as well. And if you're watching on my YouTube channel, I'm trying to level up and get my followers up and subscribers up. So subscribe to that YouTube channel as well, Dr. Calvin, Doc Green. And don't forget another thing here. I did something amazing over the last couple of months. I launched a podcast. So the Dialogues with Doc podcast is available on Anchor and Spotify. This is the live podcast show every week, but I like to do a small snippet of it just to give you like a little taste of what we talked about each and every week. So I have had some time off. There are some new amazing episodes dropping soon from previous shows and previous guests. So be on the lookout for those as well. So if you're watching right now, you guys know how I do it. Let me know where you're watching from. I want to know where you are. We want to shout you out. I want to shout out Pookie and Ray Ray and Nene and all of them. So if you're watching right now and you're supporting me tonight, or you're supporting for my amazing guests that are going to be joining me, let me know where you're watching from. Of course, you guys know I'm in the DMV, so I'm going to hold it down like I do every week for the DC area, the Maryland area, and the Virginia area. So the DMV is in the building. It's coming through me. And I'm here and I'm holding the seat down for my people. So if you're watching right now, let me know where you're watching from. I want to shout you out, say thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We have some amazing, amazing things we're going to talk about on tonight with my amazing guests. And I'm just so excited. So it's ladies' night. I'm the only guy that was invited to the party. So I'm real hyped. If you're watching right now, let me know where you are watching from. Remember, like the broadcast, comment during the broadcast, do me a favor and share. And if you're on the YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe for me as well. So if you are watching for the very first time, this is a concept that I was downloaded during the whole COVID season. COVID gave me a lot of things that I didn't have gave me a lot of time to do something. I always don't have enough time to do certain things. So COVID gave me a bunch of time. So doing this download, there was a download dropped to me that said, hey, why don't you just provide a safe space or just a space even for people to talk about a host of different subjects. So if you've been rocking with me since last August, we've talked about parenting in a pandemic. Some of the other topics have been pastoring in a pandemic. We've had Black male educators, Black male female educators. We've done mental health and wellness. We've talked about planning for what if, in case someone dies or passes away. Do you have a will? How do you start the process? How do you plan a funeral or a memorial out, things like that? So we talked about a bunch of different things. And one of my favorite shows was I turned 40 during the pandemic. So the topic was, I'm 40, now what? Okay, now what do I do? I'm 40. I'm still kind of tussling back and forth with that show because I turned 40, but I didn't get to use it. So do I take the new year this year, or do I still get to stay where I was? So I'm kind of in between. You catch me on one day, I say I'm 41. On Friday, I'm definitely 40 because it's turn up time. So yeah, so I use it to my advantage when I want to use it to my advantage. But I said all that to say that this show has produced some amazing conversation and dialogue on a host of various topics. And so tonight's topic is simply going to add to that. Each week we go up and up and up, and we continue to just take the bar up another notch. So I'm very excited about the show tonight because tonight's show is very passionate to me and to my guests. I wanted to do a show primarily on our Black boys. As a Black male educator, I'm constantly the light for a lot of these young men to provide hope and to provide insight for them to show them that, hey, you can do the same things that I've done. Hey, son, the only thing that's different between you and I is this bow tie that I'm wearing. I'm from the hood. I'm from Oak Cliff, Texas. Keystone Polk, Dallas, Texas is where I was raised. So I'm no different from you. I just made it out, and you can too. I want to just provide some insight to these young men. And I work in a high school, y'all. So think about, I've been doing much of my educational career in a high school. So working with high school students, constantly trying to pour into these young men has been a lot. So I wanted tonight to do a show from a different lens of just, I want to bring some moms that I know on the show to just chime in on this topic. So our topic tonight is basically Our Black Sons Matter. This is the Our Black Sons Matter edition. It's ladies' night. I had to bring some of my amazing and phenomenal people that I'm connected to that have done some amazing jobs with their sons. And I just wanted to bring them on tonight to join me, to chime in, to just, offer some insight. And let's just talk about this thing. So again, if you're watching, let me know where you're watching from before I bring my guests on. I would be remiss if I didn't shout out where you're watching from, because that's just rude. When you invite somebody to your house, you want to at least exhibit that you have some manners and your mama raised you right, and you got a little home training and stuff like that. So if you're watching and rocking with me tonight, let me know where you're watching from. I greatly appreciate it. Would love to shout you out. Would love to say thank you. Hey, Ray Ray. Hey, Pookie. Hey, Nene and TT and oh, Bebe probably watching too. Bebe probably watching too. Want to shout Bebe out too. So yeah, tonight we're gonna have fun. Tonight it may. I know my guest on tonight, so how I say this. I know my guest, so tonight this can go. My mama's watching. Hey, mama, I see you. Tonight can go real right or real wrong. And the real wrong is because I know my guests and they will totally flip this thing, and I will be all off the script of what I'm trying to, what I have on my paper as far as where I want to go. But we're going to make this thing work. I love how organic each of them are. I love how whenever I talk and we converse back and forth, the engagement is just on another level where it's just like we pick right back up where we left off. We ain't missed a beat. I've known all of these ladies collectively. Dang, one of them like 20 plus years, because we go way back to Fall 98. Another one, we went to church together for a number of years. I want to say like at least 10, 12 years. My other two, we met in Philly. We met, cheesesteaks and water ice. That's how we met in church as well. But I've known these ladies collectively a long time. Darrell, I see you, man. Thank you for watching from Atlanta. But yeah, so tonight I want to simply just, have a conversation. It's not rehearsed. Whenever we get together, it's not rehearsed anyway. It's just us, and we're just inviting you all into the conversation because that's just how we do. We just flow, we just talk, and we just make it happen. Give me a second to get this thing set up. I want to make sure you guys can hear me well because I don't want to give you Teddy Riley on the verses. I want to give you guys this good content. I want to give y'all what it is, it's going to be, what it's going to be. So we bind the spirit of Teddy Riley on the verses right now. I'm going to step back. I'm not going to talk like Steve Harvey, y'all. They're talking with Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Isley Brothers. We're going to have good conversation on tonight with my amazing guests. So if you guys give me 1 second, you guys know it's Dialogues with Doc. I bring my folks on the right way. But before I do that, tonight's show is sponsored by Doc Verde Consulting. Tonight's show is sponsored by Doc Verde Consulting. I'm going to keep saying that because one day I'm going to say this show is sponsored by somebody and they're going to have a nice little check for me. So I'm going to keep speaking it into existence until it happens. So last week was the Always Gives Funeral Home. I've had a touch of Tennille as well. Tonight's show is sponsored by your boy again. So if you need anything from me, I'm the man. Just hit me up. Hit me in the DM, shoot me an email. You got my phone number. I would love an opportunity to work with you. Okay, we're talking tonight. I got to bring my guests on the right way, the Dialogues with Doc way, so you know how I do it. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my guests. Yeah. All right, so it's ladies' night, and I was the only one invited to the party, so I'm so excited to have each of you ladies on with me tonight. How you ladies feeling? I love it. I love to see y'all. You know I love y'all.
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. See? So listen, okay, it's like a family reunion right now, y'all. Like, these are like my sisters, and my cousin is like my sister, rocking with your boy on tonight. So, man, it's good to see y'all. It's like a Zoom family reunion. I'm gonna act like I got some sense because y'all on the screen with me. But thank you, ladies, so much for joining in with me tonight. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your dedication. I know you ladies could be doing a bunch of other things. But I thank you just for the valuable information, input, and insight that you're going to be dropping in tonight. So, man, I don't even know where to start. It's just good to see y'all. So I'm going to start with CC. The first question tonight, I'll start with you and we'll just go around and you ladies can just jump in. Okay? So I have to start this question off from like Dana, like from a therapist perspective, before I get into the topic. How have you all been maneuvering through this pandemic? So let's start there, then we'll go into our real topic on tonight. I like to ask that question.
Well, it started off a little rough for me. I lost my job during the pandemic, February 2020. But then I paid off my car, so God is still good. And throughout the pandemic, physically, I would say I was good. God still maintained everything, but mentally, I went through some things. It's kind of like a purging for me. That was my experience. That's the best way that I can explain it. But I'm good now. Working.
Look, it all comes full circle. It doesn't look like it in the moment, but let me stop for this show flip in the first 5 minutes. Charlie, jump in here. How you been maneuvering? Oh, you know what, Charlie, don't say nothing yet. I got something else to do after this, so go ahead. Just how you been maneuvering through the pandemic? Uh-oh. Charlie, you there? Cousin, where you go? Okay, I'm gonna come back to her. Dana, how you been maneuvering through the pandemic?
I'm here.
Oh, you there?
That's what I said. Is that some feedback?
Nah, you froze on me.
Well, listen, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right. So the question was,
Cuz you
can
froze.
you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're not moving. Log out and log back in. Devil don't want this content. See, he out that dirty rotten scoundrel already. Log.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, log out, log back in, cousin. Dana, jump in. How you been maneuvering?
I'm here. I made it. I graduated. I'm done. So that if y'all only knew, I made it. I made it out. My last year, I had to go through COVID online. So I made it. I'm here. That's how I maneuvered with God.
Listen, he'll do it.
With God.
My big sister on the end.
Yeah.
This is my big sister right here, y'all. She just adopted me, and she. Tara, how you been maneuvering through this thing?
To be honest, prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer for me has been my outlet, and without prayer, I know that I would not mentally be stable, let alone physically. This pandemic has been debilitating.
Absolutely.
But for me, prayer has helped me literally navigate through all of the rough places. So that has been that's literally how, and that's a churchy, response, but that really is my only response, honestly.
I love it. I love it. I love it because it's like, I'm coming back there. Cousin, you back?
There she go.
There you go. There you go, cousin.
There goes my cousin. Hey, cousin.
What's up? What's up, cousin? Cousin, you good? You good now? No feedback. You're clear. Your skin is glowing.
And you're moving.
I'm clear.
And you move. Yeah, you clear.
I had a whole studio set up downstairs, so you listen.
Listen, we gonna rock with it. You doing
good.
What you're doing.
This place
you
is better.
Yeah, it's much better.
Okay.
So let me go here because Dana tapped into it because I'm gonna come back to you. So I need to start off my show.
Okay, much better.
Yeah, much better, much better. I want to start my show off. The topic tonight is Our Black Sons Matter, Raising Black Sons, the Mother Edition. But I want to start off by saying each of the people on this show tonight, just within the, I'm gonna just give you the last 30-day rundown. They're mothers, but they are just doing the doggone thing, and it's crazy. See, Andrea, your son graduated from college in the last 30 days. Tara, you did a whole women's empowerment thing in the last 30 days. Dana, you graduated with your master's degree, and you are a licensed clinician in the last 30 days. And as of yesterday, cousin, you won the Ashley Furniture Teacher of the Year. Am I saying it right? Give me the right lingo to make sure I say it the right way. The Ashley Furniture Teacher of the Year competition.
Teacher of the Year, sponsored by KHOU and Ashley.
So, guys, the mothers I have on tonight, they not for play. They are so serious about what it is that they do personally and professionally. So I would be remiss if I didn't give them those accolades tonight before I get into the show about raising our Black sons, because they're doing these things and still being mama. They're doing these things and still pouring sometimes from dry places with nothing but just a little residue in the bottom of the cup, but still being mama, still being encouraging, still being inspiring, still pouring into others. So ladies, thank you all so much for what you do. And I know that I know you guys are just getting started. This only been the last 30 days. If I go back through the whole year, we're gonna have another show. I already feel it. I already feel another show coming on with y'all. But so before we get started, let's get started. Let's start out by telling everyone a little bit about you and what you do. Let's start out telling everyone a little bit about you and what you do before we really get into our topic tonight. Cousin, you good? Jump in, Charlie. Tell us people a little bit about you and what you do, because you do a lot. Okay, Dana, jump in for me.
Okay, is this better?
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
like I gotta stand in one place. Is this better?
Yeah, that's better.
No.
Yeah, that's better. You're good.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
She can't hear us.
I'm gonna try the laptop. Is that okay? I'm gonna try the laptop.
Cousin, do the laptop and put. Okay, do that. Go get the laptop, girl. Go get the laptop.
I'm gonna do it on the laptop.
Okay. She'll do the laptop. Okay. Let's start out telling everybody a little bit about you and what you do. Dana, jump in. We're gonna get this together, guys.
Yes. So I'm Dana. I am, like he said, a newly graduate of Eastern University with my master's degree in professional counseling with a concentration in trauma. Just for the disclaimer, this is the prophet in you speaking. I have not sat for my exam as of yet. I will in October. So I will receive that you said license.
It's already done. I ain't playing with you.
Right.
And so I have been a child care provider for the last, I just thought about today, 16 years.
Wow.
This year. And so how apropos, millionaire loading. I ain't got it yet, but it's loading. It's loading. I'm an educator by nature, woman of God, a minister. And so now I'm diving into this psychological piece, this psychotherapy piece to help our people deal with their trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So that is me. I'm a single mom. Been divorced for going on 2 years now. I am an overcomer and a survivor of not only domestic abuse, but sexual abuse. So those are the women that I tend to gravitate to for therapy. And that is actually what made me go into therapy for trauma.
I love it. I love it. I love it. TV, jump in here. I don't know what you gonna say because you do a lot, but how you gonna narrow this thing down? I tried to put all of y'all titles up under your name, but some of y'all I didn't have no more space, so I had to just get in the drive-by of what you do.
So I am the wife of one husband, almost 23 years in October. I'm a mother of 4 and a grandma for the first time. She'll be 18 months. I am also an entrepreneur. I've been running my own businesses for just as long as we've been married. Also, I'm an author. I'm a playwright, screenwriter, podcaster.
Yes.
I train in the prophetic and deliverance, and also just a human being. You know what I mean? With proclivities and all those other things that everybody else has. And so absolutely. I just love life, and I love the people that God has placed in my life. So that's all. That's it. I
love it. I love it. That's my sister right there. Cece, jump in here.
Let's see. What do I don't do? I am a network.
Everything.
I'm a network manager for a major insurance company. I assist my dad in operating his trucking company. I assist my sister in operating her t-shirt company. Shameless plug. I hustle different expressionsinc.com. Go get your t-shirts now.
I love it. I love it.
I am a mother. I am a licensed nail technician in eyelash tech as well. And that's it. I'm a mama, 24/7, 365.
I got bosses on tonight. Cousin, you there? You're on mute.
Cousin.
Come through, cousin.
I can't hear you. You're on mute. Turn your mic on.
She must go.
Can't hear you.
Cause I can see you, but I can't hear you. I see you clearly.
She said, "What?"
Oh. You know what? He don't want you to get on this call. I'm normally good at reading her lips. I can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Oh, she said the devil is busy.
Yeah, very. Hold on 1 second. Wow. Very busy. Hold on, y'all. It's too much going on tonight. Okay, I'm going here. Let me take. Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I took my AirPods out. Maybe it'll help me hear her. I still can't hear you, cousin.
She might have to enable her mic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you check it? Lord, I don't know what to tell you. Check.
She might need to check her settings on the laptop.
Check your settings on the laptop. Make sure your mic is up.
It asks you when you come in. She
you
might
hear
not
us?
have hit allow. She said she can hear us.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna get this fixed. Okay. Hold on, cuz. Are you did you put the Ethernet plug in your laptop too? Hold on. Cause I know she got something to say and he don't want her to get it out.
I was thinking the same thing, like she got a whole word.
You got a whole word and he don't want nobody to hear it.
Clearly.
Let's do. Hold on, y'all. We're gonna get this fixed. This Teddy Ryder gotta go. Okay, try it now, cousin. Can you talk? Can't hear you at all. Check the microphone settings on the laptop. Check the microphone settings on your laptop and then log back in. Okay. Wow. Let's go here. We're gonna get this right. This is just right. It's gonna all come together. So I'm gonna go here while she's getting set up. Ladies, what was life like for you growing up, and what was the family structure like? So before we get into raising our sons, let me take you back for a minute. I don't want to take you back too far. Just what was life like growing up? Was it easy? Was it hard? Were you like the last child of not 16, but was mom and dad there? Let's just you don't gotta go too in depth, but what was it like for you growing up? Because for me, dad was there, but he was down the street. So mama raised me by herself, and I'm the last of. I'm her only, but I'm the last of 6 for him. So mama did it by herself. So I love a strong Black woman that does what she has to do and raises a kid. So single parent home was what I had. He was around, came back around when I was in high school. My man, it's too late. I'm 16, 17 now. Thank you for your services and me getting here. I'm good. What was it like for you? Anybody could jump in.
Well, for me, I grew up in a home where it started off with both parents. My mother and father. I'm the third of 8, so 6 boys, 2 girls. My mother eventually became a single parent, and it was hard. Imagine being a single mom in a house full of children. The coldest winter in Philadelphia, no gas, ice in the toilet, blow dryer, heating us, warming us, and trying to really keep us together, trying to clothe us, feed us. So it was a very challenging time. Grew up with 6 brothers. And so I always, I watched my mother try to be a father to, my brothers. And then I also took on the role as big sis / mom. Like to this day, my mother is no longer here, but I'm known as mom because I was the protector, the one that would like, look, what you want to do? I would fight.
Right.
I would fight a whole dude. I almost said something, but I had no
Ninja.
problem stepping in as the big sister. So yeah, rough upbringing, but it was necessary for where we are today in this country. So
I love it. I love it. I'm not sure if Dana or Cece want to jump in right now.
I can go. So I grew up as Tara. It started out my mother and my father. I actually was just telling someone this earlier that I grew up in Delaware County in the 70s and the 80s. And that was not a very friendly environment for Black and brown people, period. And so all of this racism and all the systemic racism and things that we're dealing with now, I was dealing with it then. Because I was in elementary school. And not to say that the children, not all of them were taught it as of yet, but some of them were. And so there were days that I was chased home. And so that was something that I had to deal with early on in life. And I'm talking about 6, 7, all the way through to high school. Wow. Growing up, I always had to fight for me because the teachers didn't, because my mom couldn't all the time. And I had no friends to fight for me. And if they did, they were very scared to speak up because I was the only Black girl in the entire elementary school. I was the oldest. My brother and sister, I have 8 years on them. They were twins. My dad left the home when I was 14. He was a functional drug addict and an alcoholic. So, I had to go through all of that, the teen Al-Anon, and every time he went into a treatment center, we went into a treatment center to learn how to deal with him. And then that's when all the other things began to happen. And so I had to take care of my brother and sister growing up. And so all of that kind of formed who I am now and why I go so hard the way I do. I don't want anyone to have to per se deal with a lot of the things that I had to deal with growing up.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Cece, jump in here.
Child, my life. The whole podcast for that one. But the beginning part of my life, I did grow up in a 2-parent home for the most part, around maybe 11, 12-ish, something like that. It was just dysfunctional after that. Good word. Straight up dysfunctional after that. But I'm the middle child with my mom's kids, her and my dad. And then I'm the oldest of my dad's children. He was a Rolling Stone.
Yours too. Man.
I one in there too.
I love it. No. And cousin, I see you? Can you hear me now? You're on mute. Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. I can hear you.
Praise ye the Lord. Our blessings flow. Okay.
Okay. So cousin. Hey, we gonna act like you ain't had no issues. Okay. What was life for you growing up? What was the family structure like?
So I grew up in a single family home with my grandmother. I grew up with the odds stacked against me. So I decided to stack, against the odds and beat them all. I had a father that was on drugs in the 80s. And so I just decided, even as a little kid, you can know what's right and what's wrong. And I just made a decision early in life to take the reins. I've always been in church since I can remember, but I just remember to let, old people say, let go, let God. God will have his way. And so I grew up in a Christian family that they kept me in front of the word of God. And So my life was different, especially growing up in the 80s with a single mom, and but it turned out for the best. I look back now and I just say it just turned out for the betterment of myself. I don't think that I would have turned out to be the person I am today if my parents would have stayed together. I know that sounds crazy because everybody's like, stay together. No.
Get out of here.
No. I don't think I would have turned out to be the woman I am today if my parents would have made that thing work.
So I love how everyone's story match and have some kind of common thread amongst them for you guys as mothers. But I want to take you back, not too far, just maybe a couple of years or so. I want you to describe the emotions felt when you found that not only were you pregnant, but you were pregnant with a son. So tonight's show is Our Black Sons Matter. I want to start talking about this thing from a mother's perspective. So you find out you're pregnant, and then you find out that you're pregnant with a son. So not to be spiritual, but when Mary found out, she was like, who put that there? How did this happen? Who? Like Mr. Brown, me? Talk about me? But this take me back to the moment when you found out, like what kind of emotions went through your head. Then to find out you're going to have a son. Let's go there. Cousin, jump in here. I'm gonna let you start this round.
So, okay, well, let me tell you, I was pregnant in 2004, and what these girls do today and what we did then is two totally different things. First, you found out you were pregnant. Then you have to wait, because it was extra money to find out what you were having then. So, I was young. I was 25. And so first I found out I was pregnant. And I was not elated. I'm not going to, tell this sugar-coated lie. I was not elated because I was fresh out of college. And you just don't know really how that thing is going to work out, right? So then, you wait and you grow to love this human growing inside you. You don't even have a name, but you know that you don't want anything bad to happen. And if I'm going to carry it, Lord, let me see it through. Because then you see all kind of stories and all kind of, situations of people started this journey, but they don't end the journey with the child. So then at 20 weeks, which is 5 months, I remember going in, I thought, all the wives' tales said I was actually carrying a boy. I'm like, but that's superstition. That's old slave stuff. They don't do that no more. If your hair is thick, then it's a boy. If you sleep on the left side, if you don't have morning sickness, I didn't have morning sickness. I was like, my child loves me because I don't do morning sickness. So I didn't have morning sickness. All the wives' tales were actually leaning towards a boy. And when they found out, you go through and you get the little ultrasound and it said it's a boy, I actually cried. Because I'm Greek, so I thought I was gonna have my little mini me with her sequins and her tutus. So I actually boo-hooed at first. I called my mom, and my mom was like, finally, the generational curse is broken, because it was like girl, something different. But I'll tell you this. God gives us exactly what we need and when we need it. God knew I needed a boy. I had never experienced love from a male perspective in a totality type of way. And God gave me that man that I had been searching for and looking and for everything in. He gave it to me in the form of a son. And so I had the opportunity to experience love from a male perspective, if that makes sense.
I love it. I don't know. It's popcorn. Somebody jump in there.
I'll go next. So I have 3 children. My first is 23. My second is about to be 19. The first one is a girl. The second one is a boy. I was okay with that. Then I had my one girl, my one boy. I was good. But then 14 years later, I decided to I fell in love. Get married, they said. Have a baby, they said. So I just knew you could not tell me I was not going to have a girl. I had her name picked out. Her name was going to be Raylan Olani. It was good. So I got that little test done where they take your blood or whatever. And she called me and she said, "You ready?" I said, "Please tell me it's a girl." She said, "Miss Lemon, you're having a boy." And I promise y'all, I cried. And it was not for the same reason that your cousin cried. Because if any of y'all, one, knew my ex-husband when he was a kid, you would cry too. So when she told me it was a boy, I promise you, my feelings were hurt because I knew what I was in for. And when I went in his room a couple weeks ago to clean it, after I had cleaned it 3 days beforehand, I said, "How do you get paint on the wall, the side of the dresser, behind the dresser, and where did all this food come from?"
Boys.
I mean, he got food roll up behind the. I cried. And I said, I thought back to the moment that nurse gave me what Rylan was. And I said, this is why I cried. Because if I showed y'all what my now 5-year-old does to a room in 24 hours, you would tell me that it's humanly impossible.
Don't be doing my friend like that. He ain't that bad.
You have not had a conversation with Rylan.
Don't be doing my boy like that. I love him. I mean, well, I knew him in the early years. I don't know who he is now.
He turned his water at you. He ain't never come back.
Who? Somebody jump in here. Tell me about when you first found out you were a little boy.
I had my first son. I got 2 sons. They're approximately about 2 years apart. But I had my first son at the age of 16. So having them at that particular age under the guise of how that happened, that's a whole nother podcast. But I cried. I was devastated. I was confused. I really didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have, let's say, a positive environment or sources that I can go to for assistance or for help. I didn't have the support that I thought I should have received at that time. But that sums it up on how I felt when I got pregnant with him. Now, of course, the process of course, when he got here, that was it. That was my baby. I was going to move heaven and hell, for him. But that was pretty much sums it up on how I felt when I first got pregnant.
T, come on, big sis, jump in here.
So I was trying on wedding dresses, and we had our date set, and I was wondering why I couldn't fit in none of these dresses. So 5 months in, my youngest son, Calvin Jr., snuck up on me, literally. I was trying to make things right with the Lord. This is like the third child. This is the third child, out of wedlock. And so I wanted to make things right. And I'm getting ready to get married and do this thing right. And then found out I was 5 months pregnant. My husband really wanted a boy. We had 2 girls prior. And so I was excited that I could give him a son. But then what happened is I wanted my own son after he was born because my husband literally, that was his son. Okay? He put a football in the crib when he first came out. So I said, I'm going to make my son. So literally, I made my son. And I have to go into the graphics, but y'all know I worked for my son. All right? So, not even
you had to get your own Tara.
Listen here. Okay?
Do you hear me?
I have to teach young women how to create and make their own.
Come on.
But so I made my son, and that was like a year or so later, Cameron, Isaiah, the prophet. And I absolutely love being a boy mom. They are amazing. They're dirty. They're funky. They're all of those things, but boys love their mom.
Their mama.
So,
They do.
It's a joy. It's a joy. They're now 22 and 20, and I'm just grateful that God chose me to be their mom. So.
I love how you close it out, Tara. I say it's just a joy. So let's go here. Jump in here. Describe and tell how important the connection is between a son and his mother. From a mom's perspective, how important is that connection? Because y'all know I'm a mama's boy. And anything that I can do for mama, I'm going to do it. It's always just been me and her. I remember there was a point when I was younger, and my mom was a functioning addict as well. I'll let her tell a story one day when I'll bring her on the show. That she got up every day and went to work and did her thing, but we never had a light turned off, never missed a meal. She always did what needed to be done, and I've always been appreciative of her for that. I remember there was a point where my grandmother was trying to get me to come stay with her at one point, and it was like, well, if my mom was in a cardboard box, I'm going to be right there with her because that's my mom. So can we talk about that connection between the son and his mother? Just from your lens, I know all your boys love y'all. Like seriously, like I mean, to even just see Darius now, to see Cameron and Calvin now. Don't be doing my buddy like that, Ryan. That was my boy Ryan down there. But when your other son came home to surprise you after he enlisted, and G-Man, Gavin, I mean, that boy loves him some Charlie. So how important is that connection? Somebody jump in here.
That connection between a mother and son is important because you're basically their first representation of a woman when they enter into this earth. And you're basically set the tone, you set the flow of the expectation when they do go into adulthood of what a woman is supposed to be like. How she's supposed to dress, how she's supposed to articulate herself, so on and so forth. And then just from a mother's standpoint, it's something about having a boy, as your child, as a son, because it's just like, I don't know, it's a whole nother feeling, or should I say dimension that you can go into, because it's just like, I'm on guard all the time. My kids are grown now, but when it comes to them boys, you can get the heat all day.
You can get the smoke. You don't want this smoke. You don't want this smoke
at all.
I feel like the connection between a mother and a son is validated through prayer.
Mm-hmm.
I carried my sons and I talked to God about them before they came into this world. Because I watched my mom bring up boys. I watched my brothers, and I wanted my sons to be representations of not just their father on earth, but also their father in heaven. And so, I didn't have two separate rules for my daughters, and then my sons. No, y'all both are going to learn what virtue is. You're both going to learn.
That's good.
That your value, and you're not going to hand anybody discounts. So don't let nobody discount you in this earth. And so if you're going to have a girlfriend, you're going to have a girlfriend. You can have a bunch of girls that are friends, but the moment that you have somebody calling you your boyfriend, their boyfriend, if you're not, I taught them commitment and dedication and loyalty and faithfulness and all of those qualities. As a nurturer, these are the things that I expect from you. Open the door for me. Carry my bags.
Yeah.
I don't carry not a bag. Okay? I don't open a door. And that's just because that's how and so just the nurturing, the qualities that God has given them. Every man has that. Every man has the seed of righteousness in them, but it needs to be watered by somebody. And I think that mothers are the first partakers of that watering pot, or jar, so to speak. So that's my
I love it. Jumping in somebody.
So for me, it is seeing how my brother was when my dad left. And then having different fathers for my kids, I understood how important it was for them to have the right relationship with me, because typically boys tend to find women who are very similar to their mothers. And so I had to be the best woman that I could be, so that when Deonis goes out and finds someone, or Rylan goes out and finds someone, that they will have a lot of the qualities that I had, the nurturing spirit, the mothering, the understanding, things like that. But then there's also that flip side to the things that they miss out on when their fathers are not here. And so it kind of makes you have to stand up a little more as a woman, but no woman can give a male child what a man can give them. However, what we can do is give them patience, give them understanding, and give them a voice. Because a lot of boys don't cry, hush. And so then we find ourselves dealing with men who don't know how to voice themselves or say what's actually on their minds. So one thing for me is to open up that door of communication, so that when they do get older and they find someone, they're able to articulate and communicate in the proper way. That's important for me.
I love it. I love it. Charlie, come on. Give me something. How important is it?
So, it's important. My word that I'm going to use is influence. There is indeed an immense influence on a mother and son relationship, because we are their first, as Sister Steve Freeman said, we are their first. We are their first emotional we are their first physical, first, like that touch, that nurturing spirit. We are the first. We set the standard. And so a happy mother creates a happy son, which creates a bond, which creates a son that's able to come to his mom. Now, I'm in these teenage years. I've sometimes missed my little baby. They used to say, Mommy, how was your day? Like, I'm in these teenage years, these trying years. But I realized he still needs his mother. His mother is the one that is the voice of reason. She, is the one that lets him know, I'm a ride for you no matter what. And I know sometimes I miss those little bitty, tiny tyke years. Those, when you get up in mama lap, like, where's my baby? But I realized just recently, cousin, on Mother's Day weekend, that my son still needs me, no matter how old he gets. So I okay, you want to be tough? I'm going to be tough. He literally looked at me like, what you doing? You better get up and give me some love. And I was like, oh, you need your mama. And no matter how old they get, they will always need their mom. And guess what? Their moms will always need them.
I love it. I love it.
As much as we need them. I need Gavin. Gavin changed my life. He really did. Whether he knows it or not, he changed my life. Me finding out that I was pregnant and pregnant with a son changed my trajectory and said, get on a good foot, sis. He changed my life. And to that, he doesn't know I needed him just as much as he needs me.
Y'all, okay, so first thing is, I promise y'all I'm not being rude because my head down. I'm always taking show notes over here. That's just me. So
practicing to become that icon. That's what he's doing. Practicing.
I mean, you are the prophetess. I got my hands up. It's a bunch of prophets on the call tonight. I'm just here. It's late as night, and I'm just here with my hands up, receiving everything that you all are pouring out. I mean, look, you said, from you all hit on it, the nurturing, the patience, the understanding, watering of the seed, the right relationship, so that when you find her, she will be similar to your mother. Mothers are influencers. All these things are so key and so critical as we go through the journey of raising our Black sons. Because for me, sometimes I'm more so engulfed in what the home life looks like for the young men that I work with each and every day. Some of them don't have a mother. or some of them mamas out there. I have one graduating on Friday. Mom can't even come to graduation because she's incarcerated. But it's just those type of things where I wonder what the upbringing and the pouring in from the maternal side is like for him, because he needs that, and there are other kids that need that as well. So all the things that you ladies said just hits the nail on the head. As we continue to go through this process of raising our black and brown boys to be the great young men that they've been called to be. I want to go here because I feel led, and I want to know from you guys mindsets on what you thought. So I want to go to Philando Castile, Trayvon Martin, Ahmaud Arbery. What's the most recent one?
George
Floyd. Think about when you first heard about our community losing these young black men. As a mother, describe what went through your head and how did you process it? So we look at these brothers who are no longer here. This was somebody's child. These were somebody's boys. So I know how I process it as a man, but just let me pick you ladies' brains for a moment. What went through your head and how did you process it? And anybody can jump in and start us off.
So for me, it was the worst two for me was Trayvon and Jameer.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were of the younger ones. But then as it just continued to happen, my prayer was, God, what is this? What is this genocide or this homicide of our African American boys? And the thing that he brought to me was when the prince had said to kill, when Pharaoh said to kill Moses, all the male children. And that is what I got from that. But then the flip side to that is to be a mother and to carry a child that long, only to have him stolen from you for something that's so senseless, and so ignorant. It hurt my heart. And I didn't want to be selfish, but I had to say thank you, God, because he not near my dwelling, but that is still someone else's baby.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny that Dana would reference Pharaoh, because that's exactly literally where my mind went when I saw this question. Because even Moses had to be hidden.
Mm-hmm.
You know, listen, and in this day and age that we're in, my son, one of my sons, Calvin, he does a lot of running, you know, like training for football and those type of things. And so running through our neighborhood, we live in a very racist neighborhood where they were called niggers and told to, you know, like the school, they were called gangs because they would hang out with their friends. So, you know, in this neighborhood where they would get stopped by cops just randomly, always afraid, always having to tell my children how to respond to the cops and those type of things. Yeah. So, you know, seeing it come so close to home and happen one after another, just traffic stops, you know, walking down the street, minding your business, all these things, terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. For me, every single day I think about my boys. I worry about my boys being in the streets, not my girls, my sons driving, working, walking, eating, minding their business in their neighborhoods where everybody should know who they are, but you have people write notes, get the niggas out of our neighborhood.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, that's the stuff that we've lived through. And it's terrifying, to be honest. When I heard about what was going on in the community, it's nothing different from what was going on in the Old Testament.
That's right.
It's the same devil, different day. So we just have to, oh God, how to process it. it's something that you can't even really wrap your mind around. It's like it's just a big why.
And if you
know?
can wrap your mind around it, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're right. It's crazy because when the question was downloaded, I immediately went to Moses when Pharaoh said, "Kill all the male children," and my mother always has said, "Baby, wherever." She don't care if I'm going to the grocery store. Before we end the call, baby, wherever you go, take the Lord with you. That's her line. no matter what, if I'm getting on a plane going, like I was going to Costa Rica, wherever you go, take the Lord with you. Wherever you go, make sure you take the Lord with you, because it's the Pharaoh mentality. Like there is a bounty on the head of the black and brown boys. No matter where they are, they can be in the affluent areas and there's still a bounty. Just like you can be in the rough areas, there's a bounty. And I'm sorry, I didn't know if I'd have jumped in there and see, or Charlie May was trying to jump in. If I cut him off, I'm sorry. But I immediately thought of Moses when I had that question downloaded.
Nah, you good. You good. I immediately felt rage when I seen this, and I remember it was a pivotal moment. I believe it was Michael Brown, and I was sitting on my couch in my living room, and I just began to weep, weep. My kids coming around me and looking, because they left him in the streets.
Yeah.
And I was just crying, and all I can think about is my kids, my boys, and just how they just disregard us and disregard his body. And they took forever to get to him, to even get him about the street. And I'm just like, and even the heaviness of that. And it's just like, and then like you said, and one of you guys said, it's just one after the other. And then even with George Floyd, and it's just like, okay, y'all concerned about these buildings, you're concerned about these companies, but you're not concerned about our lives. So I'm like, burn all that shit down, because in my mind, we don't own it anyway. You're trying to keep me from it. You're trying to keep me from obtaining wealth and obtaining these businesses or having my own businesses or land. So burn all this shit down, because people that look like me have built this country from the ground up.
All of them. Yes.
So you stolen the frequency. You stolen the goodness, the royalty from us, and then you stealing it back to us. And then you get mad when we burn everything down. So rage is what
all it down.
Yeah, rage is what I felt. You know what I'm saying? Rage is what I felt. And of course, just the sadness of everything, and not knowing, like, this could have been my son. You know what I'm saying? Even my son went to a PWI. So him in Oklahoma City, the heart of Oklahoma City. So I'll FaceTime. What you doing? Oh, nothing. Okay. In the middle of the night. Okay, what you doing? Because that anxiety of what if he gets pulled over by the police, or what if he's at a party and they put something in his drink, or what if they hang him up from the tree? And so that was always on my mind as a Black mother, even with both of my sons. So the anxiety of that and having to deal with the PTSD of that is overwhelming.
Charlie, jump in here. What went through your head?
So let me just jump to the Bible right quick. Ecclesiastes 1:9 says, "What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new
under the sun."
There is nothing new under the sun. So when we talk about, that was in the Old Testament, but this is what I think about. Two of them hit home for me. George Floyd, because I work in the heart of 3rd Ward. I served the children of CUNY Homes, which was George Floyd's home area. Then I think about Ahmaud Arbery, because Dallas is what I call my hometown. And so I just think about how both of those boys, or young Black men, were helpless. George laid on the ground, and who did he call for?
His mama.
His mama. And then I think about Ahmaud's mom. She cried so hard during that trial. A generation has been cut off. When we take the Black man, a seed that keeps a generation going.
Yeah.
Aunties your father, daughters move mentors. A generation has totally shifted. And again, our families have been destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't just affect today. We're talking about things that affect generations for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what it hardens my heart, because I think about how our families have already been destroyed due to slavery, due to segregation, due to whatever other hand that we have, versus the ability to continue to, grow our families and make our families deeper, richer, and our heritage. That's what comes to mind.
I love it. I love what each of you ladies said, and I think about myself. And it's crazy because I'm closest to Trayvon, the whole Trayvon's death, primarily because people have always asked me, well, Green, why do you, like, when your birthday come around, you just do it. Trayvon's death gave me a reason to do it. People don't know and understand, but I celebrate for myself and him. Trayvon's birthday was like February the 5th, and he died on my birthday. So I'll never forget his birthday because it's the day that he died, because it's my birthday. So when I celebrate, I'm celebrating myself and him because I have an opportunity to live. I don't take anyone's life for granted, but that one for me is the one that just does something to me. And with the organization that I work with, we have a big kickoff every year to kick off the school year. And I believe it was 2 years ago, his mom was our keynote speaker. So I got to actually meet his mom, and I didn't get to like talk to her like I wanted to, but just to be able to see his mom and just to see how she has taken his this selfless act of losing her son and taking and create a platform to just continue to do more of the work, as Ayana would say, do the work, but behind what it means to recognize our sons' lives are important. Our Black boys do matter. Our Black boys are needed. Our Black boys are needed for generations to come, because everything they're doing right now is cutting off different generations from continuing to breathe and to exist. So everything that you ladies said is hits the nail on the head with regards to how we with regards to what went through, and you guys are just a small sample set of what went through everyone's heads. But I love the different perspectives. I love how we took it to the Bible with how Moses came about, and how Pharaoh gave the decree or created the law. If you don't know what a decree is, that all the male children shall be killed. I want to go to this. I know COVID has affected this in a major way. How has COVID affected how you interact with your children now, especially your sons? COVID gave us what I say we all needed a lot of, which was time. So how has COVID impacted how you interact with your children, especially your sons? Anybody?
I'll go first. I'll say COVID saved my life. I know I hate that so many people were affected, medically, but for me and my child, we needed the time. We needed the time to heal. We are always on the go. Got to get up, go to work, go to school, get to bus, get to this, get to that. But when that came in, it literally allowed us to slow down, see and hear each other. I was able to hear him. I was able to see him, because when you're going, you're just passing. You're like passing. And sometimes as parents, we think, oh, they're in the house. Oh, I paid the mortgage. Oh, the lights is on. He ate dinner. But when you have that opportunity to see each other and have a heart-to-heart conversation, it just really brought some things to life. And so I'm happy for COVID in my household. I really am. I've gained the weight, but I've gained a whole lot more. Lord, I got
it's gonna be all right, cuz. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
I always we have this thing in our home where we always do, like, I love cooking dinner for my family, and we've since they were little, we had like Talk Tuesdays and Taco Thursdays and all that kind of stuff.
She be cooking too.
But I'm very homebody. And so I love the family that God has given me. And I really, really like, when I tell you, spending time with my children. So even just this Sunday, it was like, you know, Bud, he works all the time, and, you know, Cameron and all, but when we all get together, it's like, you know, it's, oh my God, it's such a joy. COVID for me too has been amazing. As crazy as that sounds. I had time to, ministry is always going to be ministry, but I had time to prioritize the first ministry that God gave me, which is family.
Oh, family.
I was so tied to the church and everything that was, you know, Bible studies, and, you know, you got to teach this class, and you got to do this, and you got to pray on this. And God was like, no, shut all of that out and spend time with what matters the most. And so I am still in that detox mode. And family is still number one. And then everything else that God has assigned me to comes after that. So yeah. And my sons, we've always had this open door policy. They can talk to me about anything, literally anything. So COVID has just brought us closer, only because it's terrifying for them to leave outside of the covering and go into the streets with, you know, put your mask on, make sure you sanitize, wash your hands, you know, all that kind of stuff. They don't care nothing about that, because they know their mom is praying, and they like, girl, I'm covered. But yeah, they like, girl, you're going somewhere. You done anointed my head with oil and sanitizer. So they, you know, we've gotten
pull it off. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. CC, jump in here.
I would say it probably made me more overprotective than anything. Because my oldest son, he stayed in Oklahoma, and my youngest son, he was at home. But even with both of them, I'm just like, okay, well, you go out, you come home, you take your clothes off at the door, then you go jump in the shower, then you can come and you can eat, and then you can mingle with everybody else. So it was kind of OCD-ish a little bit. Like, you wash your hands. Even my son in Oklahoma, I'm like, where you at? You don't need to be there. You need to be at home. So it was that type of vibe, because I'm like, okay, what you doing? Did you wash your hands? Do you got on your mask? Yes, mama, I have on my mask. Yep. But it did bring us closer. That's one thing that I do love about this whole experience. It did bring us closer and made us realize that family is important, and that our mental is important as well.
Yeah, that mental is key. Dana, jump in here.
So I believe that this is the time that God was like, you asked me to get you together. I'm gonna shut everything down to get you together.
Come on.
So what I realized is that this is a very candid moment. I realized that I did not know my family like I thought I did. We get up different times. Everybody's out the door, go to work, go to school, go to work, even when my ex-husband was here. But it was something about those first 2 to 3 months when they said outside was closed and you was on lockdown, clink, clink.
Talk about it.
With five people. Okay? Rylan, stay honest, my ex-husband is me. 5 people in one house, in a 3-bedroom house. And y'all see what my downstairs look like, right? It's a daycare, so ain't no furniture for big people, none of that. So we was all confined to our rooms. So when I tell you that scripture said, God that worketh patience,
yeah.
You might have gained some COVID weight, but I gained some COVID patience. Because I didn't know my family the way I thought that I did. Because it's always, you spend your little bit of time together, you go to bed, you wake up, you go out and you do it again. But being home when the world first shut down, and realizing how each other interacted with one another or didn't interact with one another, because the silence was big. And I was like, oh, well, you do that? And so this what you do all the time? So listen, I was like, yo, something got opened up.
Yeah,
like I would go and sit in my car and take a drive and then come back, because I learned a lot about my family, ex-husband and all. Niggas is crazy.
Look, the whole world just shut down. Look, we all are on involuntary house arrest. We can't go nowhere. We all got imaginary ankle.
For a little bit of the time, it was prison.
We all got imaginary ankle braces on. Can't go nowhere. So I'm gonna go here. You probably have had a lot of them, but what's been your proudest moment on your motherhood journey thus far, raising these boys? Some of you guys have multiple boys. Some of you guys have boys and girls, but on this journey of motherhood, what's been, if you can think of one, you probably have a couple, but what's been your, because I want to get through a couple more of these questions. What's been one of your proudest moments thus far on your motherhood journey?
I would say seeing Darius graduate college. That was one of my most proudest moments.
It's my nephew.
Yeah, we beat the odds, you know.
I love it.
Most proudest moment, seeing him graduate and walk across that stage.
He's gonna be on Broadway soon, so get ready.
Yes, sir. On TV.
Well, for me, when my children get into those hard places, and I'm listen, I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
I really love him, so I can't help but to bring him into this conversation in my life. But when my children get into those hard places as adults, and I watch them regurgitate the scripture, you know, I feel like my proudest moment is watching them navigate through these trials using the word of God. You know what I mean? Successfully navigating. Yeah. Because my job was to train them up, not to make them perfect. And so when their imperfections show up, and they're able to actually navigate by using the scripture, that is literally one of my proudest moments. Besides all their accomplishments in this earth, them having the word of God instilled in them, proud mama. Proud.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
My proudest moments are when, because I know the assignment of the enemy over my family, over my bloodline. So when my children supersede something that I did, that makes me proud. My parents didn't graduate, so I'm the oldest. So all my kids are older than everybody else's. And so to watch them graduate, because I did, that made me proud. Because, you know, the other family members' children didn't do that. Because I understand the assignment of the enemy in my bloodline.
Yeah. Strategic.
Even if it's only high school. Because none of the others did it.
Just give me that little bit. Just give me that.
Y'all see that look in her face? She said, "Did it."
I'm telling you, even if it's just high school, because my daughter is just 23, but she even did what I did. She went to hair school and she got her license just like that. So for me as a mom, it's the same way Christ said, greater works will you do. Oh, yeah. So she beat me out by 2 years. I got my hair license at 24. She got hers at 21. So greater works will they do than I.
Mhm.
So that's a proud moment for me.
It's like I tell the kids I work with, your job is to go one step further than your parents did. So if you do that, you're on the right track. And I'm trying to change minds of inner city kids each and every day. So if the greater works, it's written out for you. Just apply it. What they say in Sunday school, the last section of the Sunday school lesson, applying the lesson to life. Just greater works. Let's go.
That's it.
Charlie, jump in here.
So I'm still in my teenage years, but at 16, I was a little troubled. I was that church girl, but people thought that like I want my daughter to be just like her. But my mama got a different story, right? My mama knows a different story, right? Hey, But my son is at 16, and my 16 stayed on her knees for me. I stayed on my knees, but my son he takes life at a slower pace, if you know what I mean. And for that, I'm proud. I know, especially like the influences that these kids have, the access that they have to social media, the ability to get into things quicker. None of that exists, because if you, can you imagine what life would be? But my son, he is on that slow pace of life, and I can appreciate that. My mom always says it's so unfair. Well, the Lord know it. He know it all. So I appreciate that. And he's way smarter than I could dare dream to even be. I don't know. I was working on my master's at the time. And so maybe like those books that I was reading, working on my counselor degree, I would read them out loud. That would be my story time to my baby, and he was in vitro, but he is a genius. He literally is. And so, I know we want our sons to play sports, but my son is into books. And I had to recondition myself, because when you grow up in a hood, you like everybody's son supposed to play ball, some kind of sport. Yeah. My son's like, I'm not into that. And so I had to adopt, your child is different. And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay for him to exceed and excel in areas that most people say Black children can't. So he has a vast vocabulary, and I love it. But his mom's an educator,
I love it. No, thank you all for sharing. Like, I just wanted to know. I said, I want to know how has COVID affected them with, and the things that you all said, amazing. We're almost done. I want to go here because I like to give people the platform to do this. Okay, can I be? I'm gonna be messy. I'm gonna be messy for a second. I'm gonna go here. What's some advice your mom or your aunt, a surrogate mother, church member gave you about raising your son that you didn't listen to initially, but now you get it, or now you got it? So how mama always try to tell you something, and you're like, yeah, mama, whatever. But somebody else told you, you know what? I got exactly I understand what sister so and so, what auntie meant when she said that, because I'm going through that with my own child now. But when like your mama tell you something growing up, but you pay it, but then you hear it from your favorite teacher, you're like, you know what, my mama said that, or my auntie said that, or my big sister said that. Has anybody had a moment like that?
Plenty. I call my mom a lot and say, I'm sorry. I get it. I get it. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. Because you gotta walk in that shoe. And motherhood is nothing can hurt you like your children. I can nothing, honey. A man walking out, your best friend stabbing you, and nobody can hurt because you gave life to this. My mama used to say, "Bought sense is better than gave." I'm like, huh? You know, but now that I'm a Bahama, I find myself saying bought sense is better than game. Sometimes it costs you, but in the end, you learn the lesson. And that's what bought sense is better than game. Because I've been giving you the advice, baby, you just didn't want to take it. But now, hey, you got to pay the cost. And once you pay the cost, whatever the consequence may be, then you understand. Then you do better. Then you change your action.
I love it.
So
I love it.
It's so many. Parents just come back. I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry, baby. Listen, you remember that day? I get it. My mom used to say, you know, and like I say, I was raised in the church. My mom used to say, you just bought a lie. I told my son, you just bought a lie. And I called my mom. I said, guess what I just said? And we bust out laughing when I said it. You just bought a lie. Because I'm just so proud to say it. But, you know, that's just parenting. You know, they thug you out over here. Parenting requires some thugging, some praying.
So you got to thug it out. And don't forget your hand laying. Anybody else? What's something your mom told you, or somebody told you, auntie or somebody that you didn't listen to, but now you're like, you know what, mom was right. Aunt so and so, she was right. Or that teacher was showing her right. I know a lot of teachers right now are probably like, you know what, Mr. Green wasn't lying. John is bad at school. Now you right. The teacher was right. You wanted to go out there and fight the teacher, but you got to do virtual learning and homeschooling. You're like, you know what? He wasn't lying. This little ninja is bad.
He really can't read. He really can't read.
Wait a minute.
My girlfriend's mom used to say this, and I used to laugh when she said it. Her mom is passed now, is deceased now. But she said, the Lord will always give you that one child to keep you on your knees. Can you guess which one mine is?
Don't be doing my buddy like that.
I promise you, when he started being violent, I heard my girlfriend's mom say it. I heard her say, the Lord knows, like she just said it. Because I was like, I don't have nothing. But she just said it. The Lord will give you that one child that's going to keep you on your knees. Mm-hmm. Because he knows what you need.
Yeah.
Because he knew that both my kids, I'm 46, fresh out of school. Both my kids is grown. He knew I was going to cut a whole fool. He said, oh, stay right there. Right, then you're going.
He said special delivery, Dana, special delivery. Right here. Look, my mama said, keep bumping your head. You will learn. Yeah, I done learned some things, mama.
Y'all know what? I really don't have nobody that told me something. At least not right off the top of my head. Maybe on the flip side, they either said my kids was gonna be impregnating people, or they wouldn't graduate high school, and all that was a lie. And Darius, he's on his way to Hollywood. Michael's on his way to becoming a celebrity barber, and then my baby girl, she's on her way, to fulfill her basketball dreams. But I ain't have nobody to give me any. Not that I can think of right on top of my head, but the statistics, they were saying my children were going to be, this and that. But
and look at them.
That was determined was
a lie.
That was a lie.
What Maury say, and that was a lie.
That was a lie.
The result determined that was a lie.
That was a lie.
Terry, you jumping in or you good?
I'm good because honestly, my mom is deceased and she passed away before, after Kyra was born. And honestly,
Sandy ain't told you nothing.
Raising a lot of those some quote unquote sound advices for me was spoken word curses. So a lot of times, what they was not going to do, is dictate to me what my sons would be or my daughters as a result of society or the culture, if you will. So sound advice a lot of times was more like jealousy.
Yeah.
It was more like, jealousy wrapped up in sound advice, or, they couldn't understand how our sons were thriving in academics and sports and whatever arena they were in. And so it was a lot of sound advice that I was able to actually see through or discern that it was the enemy trying to set them up for the future that others had. So no. I took my advice from God himself, and I didn't really listen to a whole lot of that sound advice stuff. I didn't.
All that chitter chatter that don't make no sense.
All that stuff.
All that foolishness. Okay, last question, and I'm sorry for keeping y'all a little bit longer, but I gotta go here because I feel like there's a mother watching right now. And I don't know if she's gonna watch this right now or 4 o'clock in the morning on the YouTube channel or when you guys share the video. Listen to the podcast. I don't know when she's gonna watch it or how she's gonna hear this, but there's a mother watching right now. Just share out or pour out something that you can share from your perspective to either strengthen or work on the bond she has with her son. Her son may be taking her through all kinds of hell. But she's watching 4 survivors on the screen right now who are raising some awesomely amazing Black sons that are they're different ages and they're either adults already or going their way to adulthood. But can you just share something with her to give her a little bit more drive to keep pushing? Because she's about to be on E. She ain't gonna even pull over. The car gonna stop by itself just because she can't. She has nowhere else to pull from, and she sees Cece, she sees Tara, she sees Charlie, and she sees Dana on her screen right now. And I want to give you a chance to just pour out or share something with her. And we can just go in the order that you guys are on the screen.
I would say to build or strengthen the bond with your son is to be transparent. A lot of times, us as mothers try to take on everything, and we try to shield our kids from everything, or we put on this facade like we're okay or we're fine or we're just so strong that we can just handle everything. But just being transparent and having those honest conversations with your sons, because I've had to have honest conversations with my sons and be transparent with them, and that has brought us together. And take care of yourself. A lot of times we as mothers or we as Black women, we put everybody else and take care of everybody else first except for us. So take care of yourself first, from your mental to your spiritual to your bodies, because if you're not able-bodied, then you can't take care of your son. You can't take care of your children. Take care of yourself first. It may seem as you're coming off as being selfish, but take care of you first. If you coming home from work and you stop by McDonald's or something and get you a fry, or Whataburger, get you a fried apple pie, sit in the car in the parking lot, eat your French fries, eat your apple pie, and then go home. If you got to sit in the car when you get home from work for an hour or so and go and scroll through Instagram, do that. Okay. If you don't feel bad when you in the store and you see that dress, you see that purse, you see them 99-cent earrings, put them back. 99-cent earrings, get that outfit, get some shoes. Get it for yourself because you deserve it. You're worthy. You're more than just a mother. You are a woman. You have, desires and, like everybody else. You're worthy. You deserve to have nice things. You deserve to do for yourself. So don't feel bad about doing something for yourself. So transparency and take care of you. Put you first.
Love it. I love it. I love it. And buy them earrings, Dana, next time. Look, Dana. Go ahead, T.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Dana, jump in here since you said guilty, Dana. Go on, jump in here.
Listen, I'm guilty of going to McDonald's and eating it before I get home and throw the trash in the trash.
There you
I'm
go.
guilty of sitting in the car for 25 to 45 minutes scrolling through Instagram and Facebook before I come in the crib. I'm guilty of all of that. You absolutely have to do that because you are the caretaker, you're the giver. And if you don't give back to yourself, you're pouring from an empty vessel. You definitely are. So the thing that I want to say, because now I am a clinician and the mental health is so important to me, especially for some of these boys who don't have a father that is consistently present. For me, it is validating his feelings.
Mhm.
It is giving him a voice. My two children say, you're too lenient on him. You always give, you always do this. And I said, that's one thing that I missed with you guys. And number two, I know how important it is when a male or African American male feels like he has no voice. So I try to give Rylan a voice. I try to give him the ability to articulate his words. Sometimes he takes it over the top, and I didn't think he knew that word, and he uses it in the right context, but he speaks very well for a 5-year-old. But to date a man and to be married to a man who when you say, what's wrong with you? And they say nothing, because they were always told to be quiet, speak when you're spoken to. I don't want to hear it. Close your mouth. When we take their voice away from them, we take part of their pride and their ego away from them. So the biggest thing for me is to always give your son a voice. Allow him to understand that his voice matters and validate his feelings. Even if they're not your feelings, they are his, and that is his experience of you. And I think that is what is wrong with society. When we try to tell someone how we feel, it's not validated. When we try to say how they made us feel, most people take offense to it, but that's my experience of you. And people don't know how to do that. So I try to give Rylan the ability to tell me what's wrong. So he cries. I said, I don't understand your tears, but I do understand your words. Tell me what is wrong. And so hoping that when he gets older, when he gets married, he'll be able to tell his wife, listen, when you did this, it made me feel like this. And that line of communication would be open, because our boys are traumatized. And so that is something that I feel like I need to do to start somewhere.
You're right, and I'm gonna leave it there, because that's the drop the mic moment. The trauma is real, and if we don't deal with it, Charlie, jump in here.
I have to be on mute because I'm a and you see I got that back skirt right on right now, like, all right, one thing that I would say to a mother is accept your son's differences. You have to let go of what you thought your child would be in your mind, right? Like we thought that I would have this football player, this, that. You have to let that go, because that baby has already came out with a personality and a brain of his own. And in time, God is going to reveal who he is going to be. And so you have to nurture that child, not the one that you
want. The one again.
Right.
You really do, like, and because that's where the conflict comes in, because you want one thing, your child wants another thing, and it's like, woo, so you have to accept their differences and learn to work through them together. I want to say this for the single mom: don't try to make your son the head of the household.
Son is not your man.
Don't do that.
It's too much.
Do not put that struggle right. These grown men struggle and strive with this. A child, you are teaching. I say a gentleman in training, but do not try to make it that my little man. That's a lot of stress that come with that. You know, Shakespeare said, "What's in a name? Everything is in a name." So you're trying to make a little boy be a man, expect him to do man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Allow him to be a boy. Accept his differences. And my last thing is accentuate the positive moment. When we are discipline our children, we tend to like just stay on the negative, the negative, the negative, the negative. Look at those positive things that your baby do, and then you compliment him on that. You took out the trash. I thank you, son. Don't say that's what you're supposed to do. You know, like we go there. We go there. And, you know, you're up in here living. Compliment those positive things. Point out those positive things, because those positive one thing will turn into positive multiple things. And before you know it, and of course you start praying, but before you know it, things will start to happen. You will change because you will stop accentuating the negative and you will start looking at the positive. So look at the positive, accept the differences, and do not try to make him the man of the house.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Tara, come on and jump in here.
Something that Charlie said really stuck out to me. What she said to me in that moment was strive for continuous improvement of that child instead of perfection. Because a lot of times we try to perfect, you know, or make them perfect. They have to be perfect because they represent us. You know what I mean? And so no, strive for improvement instead of perfection. That girl, you said that, okay? That's what I got out of what you said, which is so important because I remember being that mom that was just like, no, you got to do it this way. You got to, you know, they bringing home their best C.
I'm guilty.
And I'm fighting them because it's not an A. That's literally their best. That's their best. But if you strive for a continuous improvement, they'll want to bring you home that A.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was something that just stuck out to me. That was just so good. For me, the advice that I would give to every mother listening, single or married, is that training them, we're not training them to be perfect. We're not. And so here's a quote that I use. You cannot cross the ocean by staring into the water. Every child, every young boy in this earth has their own experiences that are separate from yours. Even if there are generational curses attached to your bloodline, your lineage, their experience is their experience. And so you cannot, listen, I promise you, they cannot cross the ocean. And God has given them the land. So hear me.
Yeah.
He's given them the land, but they can't cross the ocean with you holding their hand.
That's it.
Get out their way. Their experiences are theirs. Your job as a mom, single or married, is to pray. Cover them in prayer, especially if you have grown children. You definitely get off of their hand, let them go, and let God cover them, because they're standing there staring at this water or this land that God has given them, and you got their hand. We have an idea of what we want our sons to be. My son right now, he has Temple, all these other places looking at him like he can walk on right now to any team, NFL, any team. But you know what? He wants to literally be a doctor. He doesn't even want to do that. And in the meantime, while I'm going through school, I want to own this oil company real quick. Mom, you got a few dollars to help me buy it? Oh, absolutely, son. See, but our idea of what we want them to be, God has created them already in his image after his likeness. And he already knows who they are in this earth. And so get out the way, calm down, and let God do what he's doing, and let God complete what you started. You've done your part. You've trained them up in the way that they should go. If they veer off that path, when they get mature, they won't depart from the way that you've given them. So just get out the way, calm down, and let God do what He's going to do anyway. That's
I
all
love it.
got.
I love it. I love it. That's it. I love it. I love it. I love it. No. Before we go out, I gotta do this. What's next for you? What's coming down the pipeline? How can people keep in contact with you? If you have anything coming up you want to share, go ahead and plug it real quick. Charlie, jump in here. What's next for you? What are you working on? Anything you want to tell hot off the press to the viewers? This is the time. Go ahead.
Listen, God is so good. I can't even fathom. Eyes have not seen and ears have not heard or entered the hearts of men the great things that God has in store for me. Listen, I've been losing and I am winning, baby. I've been like, hey, hit that lick. But God has really opened some doors. I've just been on People Magazine
Hold on.
podcast. I just won Teacher of the Year yesterday.
Cause slow down. You going in and out.
With a $10,000 shop, I finally get to. So I said, I'm happy. I'm blessed. God is showing up and showing out. You know, things that you think God has forgotten about, He come through. It's out in His timing. But if you want to follow me, find me, I am www.iamcharliemarcole.com. That's the website. And I am Charlie Marcole on all social media. That's CharlieMarcole.
I got you. I'm putting it in the chat. Charlie Marcole. Bam. Cousin, let me hold $5. So you just want $10,000. Okay.
$10,000 free. Woo!
Look,
that's
CC, what's next for you? You working on anything or got anything coming down the pipeline?
I don't personally yet, but you guys can follow my son Darius on Instagram at Darius Dion. Go listen and download his podcast, Talks with Darius Dion. And my other son started his YouTube channel. Let me call
Yes.
DEON.
DEON. Yes, Talks with Darius. It's on all streaming platforms. I got to put the plug in for the kids. And my other son has started his own YouTube channel. It's Michi the Barber. He's working his way on being a celebrity barber. So y'all check him out there. And then, of course, y'all check out my sister t-shirt line. I hustle different at Expression Inc.
Shirts.
All colors, black, white, whatever you need, she got it.
Okay, so Cece, you got to go. So you got to put in before the show is over, just put in the website and stuff for me. I was trying to keep up.
Oh, okay. Hold on. On Facebook or YouTube?
Either one of them. Well,
okay.
Put on both of them. I want to make sure people support my people now.
Okay.
This is what we do. Dana, jump in here with this new daycare that's about to be built.
Ooh, did you just? Oh. Come on, hip hop, you gonna find tonight? Listen, I'm not even gonna tell you that you're wrong because I just met my capacity. As of Friday, I had 4 enrollments. I told y'all earlier this month to go hit exponential growth. I said exponential growth, and I did. I maxed out. I'm at my limit. I can't take no more. I need to hire two teachers. But the other thing with that is now that I have my degree, I am a prospect for a couple of places. And so everyone's like, well, when are you going to start your practice? And I'm just like, So I'm going to try and work something out with this whole practice thing. Because it's just coming from every direction. So it's really just branding myself as a trauma clinician and getting to work and put my hands to the plow to help our people get free from this trauma that they have sustained.
I Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And my big sister, who I've been rocking with for a minute now, she probably got some. She about to release it.
She going to the Met. She going to the Met.
That I probably don't even know I'm gonna be a part of yet. But I'm pretty sure she'll send me a text message. But what's going on?
And you are, of course. So of course, Power to Tread podcast. You can check me out on Anchor, Spotify, Google, iHeart, all the other ones. I do have an upcoming book, The Power of the Thorn, that is about to be released, along with Power to Tread. So I'm giving multiple births this year because I waited so long. And also, the movie that's a spinoff of my podcast is called The Asylum. Playing around with possibly doing it as a stage production first, and then turning that into a movie. But The Asylum, which is a spinoff of my podcast.
I love it.
So dealing with like 37 years worth of trauma in the Black church. So it's going to be amazing. That's what I have coming up, along with a lot of stuff for women. Just trying to get us together mentally, spiritually, socially. And that's about it. That's what I have going on.
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, the Wonder Twins. Listen, y'all two together in the bottom of my screen. I can't. So listen, y'all. I'm sorry. This has been a supersized show tonight. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. My guests have been amazing. Thanks to the amazing Charlie Morco. Thanks to CC Nicole for joining me. Thanks to Dana for joining me. And thanks to Tara for joining me for an awesome Power Pack show on Raising Our Black Sons. They said a lot tonight. I hope you guys, if you didn't get it all, go back and watch it again and rewatch it. And I hope that something was shared tonight with you from all of my amazing guests that will help you just push a little bit further. We do want to continue strengthening and supporting our Black and brown boys. So they also drop in to the comments and throughout the show tonight how you keep up with them. So support them, follow them, buy out whatever products they have, download the podcast, all that good stuff, because they are on their way to greater things, and so are the children that they have raised that are connected to them. This has been this week's edition of Dialogues with Doc. I love you guys so much for joining in and rocking with me, and I will see you guys again on next Wednesday. Ladies, hold tight for me, okay? Don't log out yet.